The word jihad comes from the Arabic word jahada, which literally means to struggle. And that's all that it really means.
A process where an individual takes on themselves. They're dealing with their own internal vices.
The fight against the human tendency for selfishness.
Jihad mostly was a spiritual thing, was an internal thing of overcoming obstacles that you go through.
The struggle to just be a better person, to be a better person.
Jihad means a struggle in the way of Allah. Fringe radical militant groups think that attacking the West is part of that struggle, but the majority of Muslims don't. Most of them are actually opposed to using the word jihad in that way because it associates the word with terrorism. So what does jihad mean to them? Well, in Islam, there are two types of jihad, the outer and the inner.
Jihad is also known as the internal jihad. It means the amount of effort a person is willing to put into the way Allah wants them to live. There are many ways for a Muslim to engage in the greater jihad. Learning the Quran by heart or engage in other religious studies, giving up smoking, overcoming things such as anger, greed, hatred, pride, or malice, and cleaning up the floors of the mosque, taking part in Muslim community activities, working for social justice, forgiving someone who has hurt them.
I shall clean the mosque to help me with my greater jihad.
I think I'm going to smoke this cigarette. Actually, no, that's giving in to my jihad.
Oh, I got it. Wait, what am I doing? I have to study for a test tomorrow, and I can't give in to my jihad.
No, I must not give in to my greater jihad. I must learn the Quran by heart and engage in other religious studies.
Why did Mr. Beatty give me a 95 on my math test? I was supposed to get a 100. Now my grade's gonna drop. I'm not gonna do on the test. I'm just ill-prepared right now. But you know what? Everything's gonna be fine. I'll still get into Harvard and have a good grade and just move on.
I forgive you. Thank you. The lesser jihad is also known as the external way. It is not found in the Quran. It also is called the military jihad and is interpreted as a holy war. There are many reasons for military jihad. Self-defense, strengthening Islam, protecting the freedom of Muslims to practice their faith, protecting Muslims against oppositions, which could include overthrowing a tyrannical ruler, punishing an enemy who has broken an oath, and putting right a wrong. A jihad is not to force people to convert to Islam, conquering other nations or to colonies, taking territory for economic gain, settling dispute, and to demonstrate a leader's power. The rules of a jihad are followed. The opponent must always start the fight. It must be not fought to gain territory. It must be launched by a religious leader. It must be fought to bring good, something that Allah will approve of. Every other way of solving the problem must be tried before resorting to war. Innocent people should not be killed. Women, children, or old people should not be killed or hurt. Women must not be raped. Enemies must be treated with justice. Wounded enemy soldiers must be treated in exactly the same way as other soldiers, as your own soldiers. The war must stop as soon as the enemy asks for peace. Property must not be damaged.
Now, what is jihad today? In our world now, there is a big fight on the word jihad and what it actually means. Many Islamic activists have been speaking out in protests, trying to explain to people that jihad doesn't mean war or have the exception of terror onto other people. So, what people think it is today under those terms? They think it is forcing people to convert to Islam. They think it's conquering other nations or to colonize them, to make it their own. Or taking territory for economic gain and for their own selfishness. Settling disputes. Demonstrating a leader's power, which is not a part of their jihad.
Outrage is growing after this Muslim activist urged people to wage jihad on the Trump administration. Watch this.
I hope that when we stand up to those who oppress our communities, that Allah accepts from us that as a form of jihad, that we are struggling against tyrants and rulers, not only abroad in the Middle East or in the other side of the world, but here in these United States of America, where you have fascists and white supremacists and Islamophobes reigning.
As we know, a jihadist to the majority of the Muslim community is a struggle, but to some people with radical views of what jihadist means, use the word to inflict terror onto non-Muslim. These people who inflict this terror are not Muslims and use the term jihad to justify what they are doing today. A huge example in the United States would be the attack on the Twin Towers, when 2 planes hit the World Trade Center and killed thousands of people on September 11th, 2001.
Please, there must be some way to resolve this. We don't need to fight. No. I'll give you 100 pounds of rice to feed your people.
Nope, not enough.
I'll give you 1,000 pounds of wheat.
Nope. No, sir.
Well, that's all I can give you. We must fight.
Alright, let's fight.
See you on the battlefield tomorrow. See you later. In conclusion, jihad has 2 main meanings: a struggle and a holy war. The idea of struggle is that you are struggling to do what Allah wants you to do. And if you do that, you are being a good Muslim. And the idea of the holy war is to protect Islam. And it isn't in the Quran, but it is very rare. But in today's world, this belief that it is a holy war has been interpreted as killing non-believers, which is not right.